Are there any questions in the meanwhile? Oh, so Dr. Gitansha is here. Gitansha, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you give us a little idea about what the patient has?
Yes, thank you. So, very good evening to all of you. Today, I'll be performing the SMILE procedure using the Visumax system. This is essentially a femtosecond laser which has a pulse rate of 500 kilohertz. So, today we have with us a 38-year-old female patient. I'll be treating her left eye, which is the dominant eye. The other eye has a sphere of minus 1.5 diopter. So, we will be leaving that uncorrected for the purpose of monovision. So we'll move to the parameters. So we plan the treatment for the left eye. She has a sphere of minus 2 diopters with a cylinder of minus 0.25 at a 70-degree axis. Her pachymetry is good. It's 596 microns with a residual stroma of 407. So I'm taking an optic zone of 6.5 millimeters, and along with the small transitional zone of the cylinder, we get a cap diameter of 7.6. I planned for a 3 millimeter incision. So I'll be using the expert mode. That's essentially to save the time of the procedure, to make it shorter, in order to reduce the incidence of suction loss. So how that works is that the spot distance and the track distance is slightly increased to about 4.5 microns for all horizontal cuts and 2 microns for the vertical cuts. So I'll be attaching the cone now. We'll be using a small cone for this procedure. Can you just press next and attach the cone? Give me the cone.
So your energy is at 30.
And using an offset of 31, which roughly corresponds to around 155 nanojoules of energy.
Okay.
So I'm attaching...
How many people in this audience do SMILE procedures? Okay. Because different SMILE machines would have a slightly different energy offset. So you should find in your machine which is the correct energy offset and which works best. Gitansha, over to you.
Can we get the relay of the machine, please? So I'm going to start the surgery. One of the important caveats to remember here is to make sure that the corneal surface is wet. This helps to prevent any dark spot formation, which might result in a subsequent undelivery of the femtosecond laser and resulting in dry areas. However, I make sure that I wipe the conjunctiva well. You'll have to give a relay eventually. I wipe the conjunctiva well, so there is no fluid in the cul-de-sac, so the suction is maintained well, and the incidence of unstable suction reduces. Konja keela paranga Mohana Priya. So we're just waiting for the laser to get ready. Mela paranga. Sorry, Mohana Priya, can you see a green blinking light? Adola paathittu irunga. So I'm about to dock her.
The patient and the surgeon is faster.
Is important. It auto centers on the patient's visual axis. So I'll go down till about 80% of the tear meniscus is obtained, and then I'll initiate the suction. So we put the infrared illumination to check the centration. I'm now going to start the laser. Monopriya konjanera kalchi, ada pacha color light kana me pohom. Steady air kanata. Half the laser is over.
So you told to the patient that the light may disappear or may seem to be moving, but you should look straight, right?
Yeah, that is correct, ma'am. I basically instructed her that the green blinking light will disappear halfway through. That's essentially because when we make the posterior cut of the lenticule, the OBL obscures the visibility of the fixation target. So it's very important to counsel the patient at this step because they shouldn't search for it, because any inadvertent eye movement can result in an unstable suction. So now we'll move on to the treatment. Ipo blurred eye yellow light varo Monopriya. Nera paathittu irunga.
So the docking was on the cornea. You can see the footplate.
Nera paranga.
The footprint of the
So we'll begin by opening the corneal side cut by entering vertically. The next step is the delineation of the plane. We'll begin with the delineation of the anterior and then posteriorly. So this allows to separate the stroma from the overlying cap and the underlying bed. The next step is to dissect anteriorly. So this is done from side to side and end to end. There's no particular movement that really needs to be followed. It's just important to make sure that the dissection is done fully. While doing the posterior dissection, I prefer to go down first. And separate inferiorly. I don't like doing the separation on one part fully because I feel that the lenticule kind of rolls over, and because there's no counteraction, it's then harder to remove. So I've left a small bridge on the left superior side. I'll finish the superior dissection here and then move on to complete the bridge. Konja saline poda mudiyum. The next step is just to remove the lenticule with tooth forceps. I don't really wash the interface unless mandated in case of any interface debris, because results have shown that with or without interface wash, there is no there's no superiority of one over the other. I'll just dab the incision dry, and with this, the procedure is over.
That was beautiful, Gitansha. Lovely. In how much time would these bubbles go away?
The bubbles,
you can still see a few of them.
Yeah, this would take about 10 minutes or 20 minutes or so, and they'd completely disappear in that time. I generally always tell the patients that their vision will be blurred for the next 6 to 8 hours, and they'll have some foreign body sensation. By the very next day, the visual quality is much better, even though I feel that the clarity takes about a week or 10 days to completely come in.
So when do the patient go back to work?
I'm sorry?
When do the patient go back to work?
Smile, I tell them there's the only restrictions that we normally give is that we don't want them to do a direct face wash or take a head bath for the first 1 week. They go back to work the very next day once they're comfortable. There's no restrictions when it comes to computer activities, mobile or general restrictions. They just have to maintain hygiene and make sure they don't splash water into their eyes directly for about a week. So it's basically pretty much a walk-in and a walk-out procedure. Post-operatively, I like to give steroids for about 2 weeks, antibiotics for a week, and lubricant eye drops up to 3 months. It's more so towards the first month or so. They start.
When do you start the drops?
They'll start about an hour or two later. Once they get home, they start their drops.
What do you think is the biggest advantage of the smile procedure?
Truthfully, I think the biggest advantage of smile is that because the number of nerves getting severed are lesser, the post-operative dryness is truly lower. Because we did a head-to-head contralateral study, wherein I think Shreyas had alluded to it earlier, wherein we were studying the results of Contura in one eye and smile in the other. So it was a contralateral comparison. The patients were blinded to what procedure they had undergone. And truly, 100% of the patients up till the first month said that they preferred the smile eye. The dryness was distinctly less. In terms of biomechanics, I feel yes, it has an advantage over LASIK, but I still feel that if you really want to go for true biomechanics, PRK would still be better than smile because there's no cut involved. So I feel the true advantage in smile is the post-operative recovery and the comfort that it gives the patient.
Thank you, Gitansha. That was super.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much.